Go to Central Illinois' leading online source for local news, Police Blotter, for the record information, obituaries, and more on your desktop, laptop, iPhone, or smartphone. DeWittDailyNews.com.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. All across the country, the polls open on this election day, crucial midterms that will determine the control of both houses of Congress. There are also some key governor's races to be decided. Former President Trump teasing what he calls a big announcement for 1 week from today. There is speculation that Mr. Trump will announce another run for the White House. They may be undated or misdated, but the Fetterman campaign says those mail-in ballots should be counted anyway. John Fetterman, Democrat candidate for the U.S. Senate in Pennsylvania, his campaign has gone to court trying to make sure those ballots are counted. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court recently said that they should not be included in the count, but should be preserved and set aside. The opening bell just sounding on Wall Street, stocks starting off the day higher. More details at srnnews.com.
From the newsroom of Regional Radio and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Seth Lawrence with this local news update. School report card data was released by the Illinois State Board of Education recently, and the DeWitt County District is concerned about one of its buildings' performance. On the WHOW Morning Show Monday, Dr. Hillary Stanifer, superintendent of Blue Ridge Schools, told Regional Radio one of its buildings received the designation of targeted, which means more support from the state will be coming their way.
The Verdict and Blue Ridge Schools, we have 2 schools that earned a commendable status. We are very pleased with that. And we have 1 school, our Blue Ridge Intermediate and Junior High School, that's grades 4 through 8, our Mansfield building. They received a targeted designation, so that means they're going to get a little extra support financially so we can, support some of those programs that need to improve. We had 1 student group that performed not up to the level that they should have during the recent testing. So we have a lot of things that were already in the works. So when we got that designation, while nobody wants to receive a targeted or comprehensive designation, we do feel like we have things already in the works and ready to go to try to remediate that situation. So we're very, very pleased that we're already working in that direction.
Dr. Stanifer would not specify which group is struggling, but attributes a lot of it to COVID.
Well, I don't want to blame it on COVID, but I will tell you that, and I'm not going to call out that 1 student group at this time, just because we haven't had enough time to have some of the individualized conversations with families yet. So we'll just call it our 1 student group at this point. But that was a student group that had a little bit harder time engaging through the virtual platforms when we were away from school. If you remember that 2021 school year, my first year as superintendent, we brought our kids back on a hybrid schedule. So at best, we had kids in the house 2 days a week and on computer screens 3 days a week. And so that's not really the most profitable learning environment. I don't think for any of us who have had to work virtually, you know that there are a whole lot more distractions than when you are in person where you need to be.
According to Dr. Stanifer, the district is already taking steps to mitigate those concerns. She explains through the Tri-County Education Association there will be an assessment students take to help educators understand where each student is at.
Well, in Blue Ridge, our size is small enough that we don't have our own special education department. We use services from Tri-County Special Education Association, and they offered to all of their member districts this year a program called iReady. iReady is it's a diagnostic tool, and it's a smart tool.
Dr. Stanifer says the school report card highlighted a good graduation rate in Blue Ridge, as well as good teacher retention. Get news anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
This is staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with your regional radio forecast. A mix of clouds and sun this afternoon with highs around 60. Easterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy again tonight, lows around 45. Highs level off around 70 tomorrow. Low 70s Thursday, much cooler on Friday with highs in the mid-40s. Hear weather twice an hour or online anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 44.
CEO Paul Skowron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Our trained physical therapists offer quality, compassionate care close to home. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
When it comes to fire and water restoration, ServPro of Piatt DeWitt counties is the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction. Find out all the services they provide by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Hear Clinton Maroon live play-by-play this season on WHOW, the big 1520 daytime, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and 106.5 in Bloomington Normal all the time. Plus, streamed at DeWittDailyNews.com on the WHOW mobile app. Plus, hear a best-of Clinton sports broadcast Saturday mornings at 10. All brought to you by Love It Once More Thrift Store. Keith Wade, your country financial representative, and our exclusive sponsor for our player of the game, ServPro of Piatt DeWitt counties, the leader in cleaning, restoration, and construction.
Who's there?
It's coming for your soybean fields.
It's pigweed!
The pigweed! It's everywhere!
Oh no! My soybean fields! Run!
Yes, run to keeppigweedaway.com and protect your fields with a layered residual herbicide program from BASF. Always read and follow label directions.
Let's swing open the farm gate together every day on WHOW. I'm Stu Ellis, your host of the long-running agriculture feature called The Farm Gate. I bring the latest news and information on where agriculture is and where it's going to WHOW Ag listeners several times a day. From tariffs to treaties, from the Board of Trade to the running board on your truck, I cover Central Illinois agriculture every day on the Farm Gate. Hear it all on WHOW's many platforms, on the radio or online. Join me, Stu Ellis, for the Farm Gate.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today, Max Aper with Little Galilee, who brings a special guest with him today. Max, introduce us to Gabe.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have Gabe with us this morning. This is Gabe Rutledge. He is our new camp manager. And I don't want to take too much of what he's going to talk about, but he's been a longtime friend and dean, session leader, what we've talked about that in the past. And so I'm really excited to have him on board and excited to be here talking to you guys.
Well, Gabe, welcome. Thanks for making the trip out with us today. Good to have you in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Well, tell us about yourself, Gabe. You've been involved in Little Galilee for many, many years, you were telling me. Talk to me about your journey to this position.
Absolutely. It's been a fun transition to get to where I'm at today. I actually started going to Little Galilee when I was 5 years old, when my dad was a dean out at Little Galilee of a high school week of camp. And I would go to his high school week and kind of just hang out with all the big kids as a small little guy. And then as I got older, I would go to my own week of camp. So there were multiple summers where I'd be going to 2 or 3 weeks of camp out at Little Galilee.
Yeah.
And Little Galilee was a place that just had a huge impact on me and my spiritual direction. And so I was just excited to be able to jump into the fact that I could be a dean when I was old enough. And I went to Lincoln Christian University and got a degree in Christian education. And so I've been a dean out at Little Galilee for the last 18 years of a junior high week of camp. And last summer we had 220 junior hires. I call them 220 of my best friends at a week of camp.
Spoken like a real youth minister.
That's exactly right. I may know about 5 of their names, but they're all, hey buddy, hey camper, how you doing?
Yes, exactly right. So talk to me about, Gabe, your professional journey to Little Galilee.
Yeah, absolutely. As I graduated from Lincoln Christian University, I went into youth ministry at a church in Mattoon, Illinois, and I was there for about 5 years. And then God called me to a ministry in Springfield, Illinois, at Westside Christian Church there. And I was on the worship staff there and did lots of things, building worship services and helping get everybody kind of pointed in the right direction there. And then for the last 4 years, that church in Springfield has a Christian school attached to it. And so I was the director of spiritual formation for Springfield Christian School for the last 4 years. But then in August, I jumped on board August 1st as the new camp director at Little Galilee.
So you've been involved with Little Galilee for a long time. Why, and the director position, I'm sure, has come up, throughout the course of your professional career. What appealed to you about it, just in general, but particularly, now? How about those things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an opportunity to be able to lead this ship for the next generation of campers that we have coming our way. And not only campers, I know Max has talked about in the past where, we don't have an off season anymore. We have this retreat season where every weekend we've got people on our campgrounds, and we just want to create environments where people can encounter Jesus. And that's what excites me the most about this opportunity, is to be able to help lead that in a way that we get out of the way and Jesus is exalted in this area.
Mm-hmm, sure. When it comes to your goals as what did you call the title, Max? Camp manager?
His title? Yeah, it's the camp manager.
Camp manager.
Yes.
What's your goals, Gabe? What do you think?
Camp director.
Camp director.
Camp director. Oh my gosh.
Okay, cool. Because I put in my notes executive director, and so
Yeah.
I was like, oh man,
Right.
yeah, all right, executive director. Sorry, Gabe. Not trying to bust rank on there.
No worries.
What are some of your goals as the executive director?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my biggest goals is security and safety for all of our campers that come onto our campgrounds, and we want to be a place where people feel safe, where parents feel safe dropping off their kids with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would love to do some upgrades to our campus with surveillance cameras and some other things to make our camp the best way that we can serve our community and this region. And so, safety and security is a big one. And we have a great facility.
Mm-hmm.
But there are just some little things that we need to just tweak and to make some upgrades. Like our activity center, they've had the same sound system in there for the last probably 20 to 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of getting old a little bit. And so as we move forward, we'd like to look at some audio, video, and lighting upgrades in that building,
Mm-hmm.
and just have fun worshiping Jesus through all of these things.
Yeah. When it comes to those things, they're not cheap. You're talking about upgrading technology. You're talking about security, which is not cheap in today's world. How do you afford those things? How do you make that happen?
Yeah, we need people's financial gifts. And so we've got a great bunch of churches that support us well. And, we get monthly checks from a lot of those people, but we've got individuals in our community and in this area that have been impacted by Little Galilee,
Mm-hmm.
and they continue to give it forward, pay it forward. And so I just want to encourage anybody that's listening today, if Little Galilee has made an impact on your life, we would love to talk to you about how you can not only financially help us, but just be prayer partners for us, because ultimately we need to give it up to God.
We're embarking on tough economic times in the midst of, I would say not even embarking on, we're in the midst of tough economic times. How do you manage a dream big, possibility or, prospect like you've got, but also understand, many people may not be able to give like they once did for a short time, perhaps.
Yeah. One of our biggest things that we say a lot around Little Galilee is, when God wants it, he'll provide the financial means for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't want to be marching ahead of God.
Mm-hmm.
We want to be marching right in step. And so if God wants us to do these upgrades, if God wants us to eventually, build that retreat center that we've kind of been talking about, then God's going to provide the means for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be through his people. And that could be through churches, that could be through individuals, that could be through grants that we, apply for, things like that. And when God wants it to happen, he's going to make it happen. And so, yeah, we are in economic times where it's tough for people, but it's all about where we prioritize our money in our lives.
Gotcha. And Gabe Rutledge, new executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp, along with program director Max Aper, in studio with us for today. So, Gabe, talk to me a little bit. You're so familiar with camp. I'm sure many campers, and then, rippling effect down to churches and their leadership are probably familiar with you. So talk a little bit about just how you go about going out, getting your face and name familiar with these people, maybe reintroducing in some cases. What's the next, let's say, 4 months look like as we embark on the winter?
I would love to get into as many churches as possible. One thing I did just yesterday is I went through our church directory that supports our church, and I jumped on my Facebook account and I liked every single one of their Facebook pages, so that I can just keep in contact with them from afar of knowing what they're doing. And I've got many friends that I went to college with that are in ministry, that are in a lot of these churches.
Yeah.
And so I've already been in 4 or 5 churches. I was in a church in Kenny Christian Church last week. I'm in my near Christian Church this week. And it's just an opportunity for us to go out and not only to be a representative of the camp, but ultimately to be a representative of Jesus. And so just going out there, making those phone calls, sending those emails and saying, hey, we would love to come and talk to you about Little Galilee. That's one of the big buckets that I am involved with here at Little Galilee, is that PR with churches and campers and parents. And so the more we can get out and be available for people and to just listen to people, it'll be better for us in the long run.
Yeah, Gabe or Max, feel free to chime in with this one. What's the response been to your hiring? I venture a guess, like you've got a lot of connections in the church community in Central Illinois. What's the response been?
Yeah, so one of Gabe's first weeks here, it was during camp. I jumped in with his family. We went and ran some errands for the camp. And on the way back, we were just chatting, and we had just recently posted that Gabe had been hired on the official, it's Facebook official now. And
nothing's official till it's Facebook official.
Right.
So, yeah.
And that I've been running the camp's Facebook page since I got to camp in 2016, summer of 2016. And that was our most liked and shared post with what was it, man? Like 15,000
Wow.
15,000 views, not likes, but like over 15,000 people had seen it and it had been shared a couple hundred times, which was just really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So people are really excited about it. I was really thankful for the response of that. And, people know Gabe, and, I was a camper in one of his first times being a dean. And so, that tenure that he's got being a camper, we're in the sweet spot as far as those people that are online and all that stuff. And like, it was really cool to see the response of people liking it, liking that announcement.
Two things: how old does that make you feel, and how does just hearing that the response make you feel?
It does make me feel old. I'm only 42, but I've been doing it a long time, and so I've had the opportunity to have literally thousands of campers go through my week of camp, and so it's fun. But the response has been overwhelming for myself and my family. We feel it is an honor and a privilege to be able to serve Little Galilee in this way. And the future is so bright that I'm just excited to be here.
What are you most excited about?
It's a great question. I think the most excited that I am is just to see the life transformation year after year, week after week of camp that happens, because that's ultimately why we do what we do. We want to be able to equip those people that already know Jesus, and we want to be able to go out there and win the lost. In Matthew chapter 28, Jesus said, "Go and make disciples," and that's what we're continuing to do, and that's what excites me about this ministry.
Definitely. Gentlemen, what I miss in this conversation? Anything from you, Gabe, that you wanted to talk about I didn't get to this morning?
No, I think you did great. This is an awesome opportunity for us to be able to get in here, once a month, and to be able to talk to you and to share everything that's going on. I know Max has got some programs that he wants to share about, and we might be able to do that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll take a break here, but before we do, Max, anything from Gabe's perspective I didn't touch on you want to make sure we know?
No, we're just we're thankful to be a part of the the DeWitt County, the Clinton community, and I've said often, even on the air here with you, Seth, we're one of the worst best kept secrets. I hear all too often, and not only Clinton, but in the DeWitt County area and Central Illinois area, that people have never been out to Little Galilee. Change that. Come on out. We would love to have a conversation with you. We'd love to introduce ourselves. You need to see what's going on out at Little Galilee.
Yeah. How much, Gabe, do you encounter kids coming to camp, be it junior high, younger, junior high, older, that have never, maybe they don't go to church, they've never been to church, but they come out with a friend because, you've got the pool, you've got the high ropes, you've got all these things to do. How often do you encounter those things?
That number is growing year after year. The amount of kids that we see that either don't have a church home, or maybe their parents don't even go to church, but they're tagging along with their friend because it's fun. They're learning about Jesus in this environment that they think they're coming just to have fun. And ultimately, yes, we do have a lot of fun, and Max does a great job with our programs, but that number that we see continues to grow, which excites me, because that means our students are learning stuff either at camp or at their churches, and they're going out and they're talking to other people about Jesus, which ultimately that's what Jesus wants us to do.
Could be disheartening at the same time, but you put a positive spin on it. Very good. Guys, where do folks go to learn about all things Little Galilee?
Go to www.littleGalilee.org. Galilee is spelled Galilee.
That is Max Aper. He is the program director for Little Galilee, introducing us today to Gabe Rutledge, the new executive director of Camp Little Galilee, and appreciate them coming in studio. More to come with them on WHOW.
WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Tuesday. I'm Jim Taylor for the RFD Radio Network. Corn slightly lower, beans lower, and wheat starting the day higher. December corn 674.5 down 1 1/4. March corn down 1 1/4, 680 1/4. May corn 680.5 down 1 1/2. November beans 1437 down 3. January beans down 3 1/4 to start the day, 1447. March beans 1454 3/4 down 3 1/4. December Chicago wheat 890, or make that to 849.5, up 3 3/4. March wheat 867 1/4, up 3 1/4. May wheat 877.5, up 3 1/4. December bean meal 418.70 down 30 cents, and December bean oil 76.62 up 29 cents. Look at the opening numbers. The Chicago Board of Trade. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network.
Are you a friend of agriculture? This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We're giving a $500 Friends of Ag discount to anyone that orders a new Chevrolet or Buick to be built just for you this month. Are you a friend of ag? You are if you're a member of any ag organization, employed by any ag-related business, including research, inputs, manufacturing, sales, and marketing, and of course, ag education. Come in, order yours today. BaumChevyBuick.com, right from the start.
MR Systems Wireless is your local internet provider for Clinton and surrounding area. They have the products you want and the local service you deserve. MR Systems Wireless Internet service for home or business includes unlimited data, unlimited streaming, and unlimited calling. Plans start at just $48 a month and get a free Roku 4 lease with our media packages. Get the speed you need with MR Systems Wireless. Call them at 935-2100. That's 935-2100 for MR Systems Wireless.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show is streaming to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, in studio with us today, Gabe Rutledge, new executive director of Little Galilee Christian Camp, and program director Max Aper with us as well. And Max, let's talk some programs. What's coming up at Little Galilee?
Yeah, so we're really excited. We just are coming off of a great fall season with our retreats that we've had. We've had a ladies' day, we've had a scrapbooking group, a lot of other stuff far and few between. And then coming this Friday, we're trying something new, and I'm really excited to offer this to our veterans of the area, pretty much of the listening area, Seth. But just a appreciation dinner for these guys where we can come out. IGA's supplying a bunch of pulled pork that I'm really excited to be cooking here in the next couple days. Cool. And then we've got Texas Roadhouse that's generously bringing some sides and stuff like that. And just the rest of the community has stepped up in a lot of different ways. It's been really, really cool to see, to just appreciate our veterans.
Now, when is that?
That's going to be Friday, and that's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 is when we'll be kicking everybody out.
Okay.
It won't last until 9. It'll be like a social hour there at the end.
Got it.
And then
now, is this a pretty structured thing? Can folks come in and go as they please? How does it work?
I'm planning on that. We've got a lot of older veterans that are planning on coming, so I'm anticipating some leaving, but we've got a program from about 6 to 8:30.
Okay,
is how long that'll go.
All right, Max, would you talk about who the guest speaker is? Because I think that might be some interest.
Yeah, so we have a gentleman named Max, or not Max. His name is Matt, and he was a guard at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and so we have a few other speakers coming in, but he's kind of our keynote, and we're really excited to hear what he's got to say, just his experiences and just the impact that monument, that tomb, has on our country. It's really, really special.
Awesome. When will he deliver his address?
He'll be kind of right in the middle, right after we sit down and
all
eat,
right,
and then he'll come on.
So you have multiple speakers, though?
Yes, yeah, we'll have multiple guys. We've got a few other guys that served at different wars and stuff like that. We've got we've got some Jeff Morlock is been a huge help for this, and we are going to be presenting some quotes of valor, which is really cool. And he can talk more about that. But yeah, we've got a lot of just great stuff that's going to happen, and a great program coming up for these guys.
Very good. Yeah, I'm catching up with Jeff later on here this morning, so be on the lookout for more details coming to DeWittDailyNews.com in the next day or two. But Max, what else is on your calendar?
Yeah, so we have a lot of great stuff coming up here in the winter to offer to the kids of our area. New Year's Eve. I know parents are usually just looking to get rid of their kids for New Year's, and we've got the place that they can go. So if there in junior high, we are going to be offering, it's called Midnight Madness. And again, that's New Year's Eve overnight, December 31 to January 1. We just have a great time. We stay up way too late. I was talking with the gal Lexi who leads it, and she's like, I just want to go to bed this time. I said, we can do whatever you want to do. That's fine. So from about 8 to 8 is when we'll do that, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and we'll ring in the new year, and we're going to get some sleep this year, which both Lexi and I are really looking forward to.
All right.
Yeah, we also have...
when does registration start for that?
Yeah, we've got that on our website right now, and they can get the dates and register for that right now on our website at littlegalilee.com. So we've also got some other awesome winter retreats coming up for all different age groups. So we've got our 1st through 3rd and 4th and 5th grade winter retreat happening. Those are going to be 2 separate kind of retreats happening at the same time, January 13th and 14th. We've got our high school winter retreat happening February 3rd and 4th. And then Gabe is leading our junior high winter retreat February 17th to 18th.
Now, what do these retreats look like?
Yeah, so it's just a blip. What I tell the deans is like just a blip of what camp would be like. So they come in on Friday evening, we have a snack, we hang out, we do some programming, and then we just have a good time Friday night. And the Saturday we wake up, have breakfast, there's a little session, have lunch, go home at 3.
All right. Easy enough. So
yeah, absolutely.
Registration for those.
Yep,
going on?
littlegalilee.com. And there's one more too, our Wild Beast Feast, something that I've been really excited to start the past couple of years, as we've had a great response to it. That's going to be February 10th as well.
Now that's what kind of wild game type of stuff?
People in the community just bring their wild game, and we just kind of have a potluck style meal. And there's a program I'm really excited to say pretty much for the first time that we'll have Illinois Department of Natural Resources Conservation come out and be there and give a presentation about that.
Cool.
And just a lot of really cool crafts and some great food. I can tell you I've had some pretty wild food at that
What's
dinner.
the craziest thing you've ate?
At that dinner there was elk liver, I think is what it was, bear steaks, there was all sorts of rabbit, duck, and of course venison, all sorts of different venison prepared different ways.
Anything you like the most?
Oh, I love venison. I'll eat that all day, as far as chili and salami, and there's just so many different ways that the guys in our community and the gals in our community prepared it, and I'm down to try anything.
Excellent. Anything else on the calendar you want to highlight, Max?
Yeah, no, for now this is just our winter stuff. We've got more coming up in the spring, and we can brush more on that. It's on our website to get some dates on the calendars, but I'm really excited too. I'm about a week away. I'm trying to have it done this week. Our calendar for the 2023 summer season.
Already.
So, waiting on a few more people, and we're going to have that posted, and people are already asking to get those dates on there because people want to be a part of camp.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
Definitely. Gabe, I should ask you this. Max and I have talked about his dream of 3,000 campers in a summer.
Yeah.
How do you help him with that? How do you make that dream manifest?
Yeah, absolutely. I think my dream for this summer is, and this is just a wild dream, of having 2023 campers just this summer. Summer 2023, let's have 2023 campers. And I think if we take that and just break it down into bite-sized chunks, but it's absolutely a thing where I'm out there being his biggest cheerleader, because one of the other big buckets is me coming alongside the programming piece and being out there and encouraging our students, encouraging our parents, encouraging our grandparents. Hey, if you have influence over any student, whether that's someone that you're related to, or a neighbor person, or someone in the community that get them involved. And it might take even you just writing the check to let them go to camp. And so just being able to go out there and encourage that. But 3,000 is very doable. We've never been over the 2,000 mark at Little Galilee.
Okay.
And so I think that's the first barrier that we have to jump through.
Yeah.
And I think we can do that this summer, because we had, remind me, was it 186 brand new campers this year?
Yeah. We were getting really close to 200. I mean, really
close to 200 campers that had never been on campgrounds before. And if those close to 200 campers had a great time and they go home and they bring one friend back with them, we're already to that 2,000 mark. And so I think that's my prayer for this summer, is that we can break through that 2,000 mark this summer and then just keep going.
Awesome. Anything you want to add to that, Max?
Yeah, so it's really cool. I came into Gabe's office late last week and showed him. I was just running numbers for where we were at with our summer and where we were at with our current programs. And you had just mentioned it, that my goal was 3,000 for the summer. What was really cool is that the number that we had for our summer, which was 1,776, and then for our non-summer retreats and programs and stuff like that, so everything that happens outside the summer, those two numbers combined were a minimum of 3,000. I kept coming up with the number 3,000 exactly, which is just really cool for me because that's just kind of been my prayer and my focus. But that's not just the summer, but that as a program wide, that was really cool to see.
Excellent stuff, guys. I hate to do this to us. I got to cut us off and let you go. How do folks learn more about Little Galilee, Max?
Yeah, just hop online at littlegalilee.org. Galilee spelled Galilee. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram as well.
Excellent. Network news on the way on WHOW.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM, W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM.